It's good to be back. You missed me.
Welcome back, nerds, to another season of the Nerd Rundown podcast, where we cover the latest in the nerd world of movies, TV, and more. I'm one of your co-hosts today, Darren Stemple. My co-hosts with me today are my co-pilot, Eric Hare.
Greetings, everybody.
My co-conspirator in theories, Big Morg 3000, Morgan Santo.
Hello.
And my co-maker, and now that I say that out loud, it makes it sound like you're my dad, Brett King.
Makes it sound like we are dads together. Yes, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, take it how you want. We want to give a huge thank you to everyone who watched and listened to our first season on the Nerd Rundown. I think it exceeded my expectations, Eric's expectations for sure. And we were delighted to see the reception we got at the end of the year with how our office Christmas party was how many times it was watched. Incredible 20,000 plus views on YouTube. A little bit more on all the major podcast services. What's that?
Is that what the K stands for? I thought we got like 20.
22,000
kilometers.
22,000.
2,000.
That's not a whole lot. Anyway, it was fantastic. Loved that first season. Thank you so much for all your support out there. We appreciate it. As always, you can find us on social media like Twitter and TikTok and YouTube at the Nerd Rundown. And while you're there, might as well hit that like button. And if you haven't, please subscribe, smash that button too. And obviously, you can listen to us on all the major podcast services. Season 2, we have a fantastic show. Are we doing that right now?
Are you doing it? 'Cause you did it.
Might as well. So we have a fantastic show for you all today where we'll cover some of the biggest news items on the rundown that came out while we were on vacation, which really, it wasn't much. There was a lot of trailers. Hawkeye, Book of Boba Fett really dominated the conversation in that time. So not a lot of news came out, but we'll cover whatever came out in that time. And with that being said, let's get to the rundown.
Here we go.
First, on the rundown, movie that might come up later in conversation, and not just in this podcast, but in our lives because we love it so much. Spider-Man No Way Home, 6th largest film of all time as of today. And
official Brett rating. Hands are up.
The new rating system, which you can only see if you're subscribed to us on YouTube or watching us on YouTube. And if you are watching us, please again subscribe. The new rating is how high do Brett's arms go? And for Spider-Man No Way Home, they went all the way up. So Mr. Spider-Man himself, Brett King, start off with you. Quick reaction on what you think about the box office numbers that Spidey's doing.
I mean, I think more than box office numbers, it was liked by critics and fans. It wasn't just like a critically acclaimed money grab. Like it was loved. And I think I think it earned it. I think they worked hard to get it. And I think they've earned every bit of it. And they're grateful for it. Like I like going on Twitter and seeing them thank the fans.
I seen like Tom Holland released something today to the fans about how grateful and appreciative he is, and he's like, "We're going to make many, many more." So I think he's seen checks come in off of this, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll make some more Spideys." Eric, what'd you think?
I loved it. I thought kind of echo what Brett said. They knocked it out of the park. I mean, they really did. Nostalgia is a thing that's very popular right now. And they, without getting into any spoilers for anybody, they did a fantastic job of walking that nostalgia line. And I loved that. I loved, the Marvel does such a great job with the comedy side of things. I thought it was funny. I love the MJ character. I just how awkward she is, and Ned. I just love those. I love those guys. You just care about all of them. You really do. So I think they've done a great job, and I really enjoyed it. I took the whole family to see it. I took my wife, who's not a big superhero fan, and she loved it. She loved every minute of it. My 6-year-old loved it. My 7-year-old loved it. It was great. So it's awesome. They did a great job.
I like how it sparks a lot of conversations, because now it's like, it was always kind of like, oh, which one's your favorite Spider-Man? Which one's your favorite Spider-Man? But now it's like, which one it is?
Right.
Yeah, that's a real question. Great point.
Because now they're actually comparable to each other, because they were all in it.
Right.
No, and it's a different conversation now, I believe, after the movie. And I think Andrew Garfield wasn't necessarily a Spider-Man that everybody was like, he's for sure my favorite Spider-Man. I mean,
he was amazing.
He
was amazing.
Oh,
nice one. Yeah. Mark, do you have a different opinion on who your favorite
I'm not even sure
Spider-Man
what this movie is you're talking about. No, I stopped myself. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I mean, I took off work early to go to the doctor. I did not specify the doctor. Technically, I saw a doctor.
You did.
And I even took my son out of school early to make sure I went to a 3 o'clock showing on Thursday. So I did not have to worry about it being ruined for me. No, I loved it, and they did a great job. That is how you do bringing nostalgia and other things into a movie, right? Where they're not shoving it down your throat.
Yeah. They
just did it perfect, which I'll bring that back up at another point here. No, loved it, and I'll go along with the trend. The only thing that pissed me off is we still don't know who Spider-Man is.
Oh, got him.
Brett, how many times have you seen it?
I've seen it twice.
You've seen it twice? Okay.
Yeah.
Morgan, how many times have you seen it?
Only once.
Just the only
once.
Okay.
Only once.
Yeah.
And
I think I want to go see it again. I really do.
I do. Yeah.
It's a lot shorter the second time. Like it felt really long the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
2.5 hour movie.
I tell you what really surprised me about the whole movie was, and I know that, and again, try and be spoiler free on this, how emotional I got during that movie.
Agreed.
A very particular scene, and ultimately, like we walked out of it. We walked out of the movie, and I told my wife, I said, everybody thinks that they want to be a superhero, but then you watch this movie and you think to yourself, really being a superhero like Peter Parker is a very lonely, isolating existence, and I think they did a really good job of portraying how lonely that and how isolating that role can be. And so when you had the Peters, we'll just say they really are the only guys that can, and that's why, you see them like when they're like the Avengers or whatever, it's a group of people. They all understand how when they have that fraternity, because otherwise it's a very isolating and it's a very lonely place. It's a different bond that they have, because of the burden that they carry. And so seeing those 3 Peters together like that, they all understand the loneliness that comes from that. And I thought I was really surprised with how emotional that movie made me feel, most superhero movies, you don't, the whole Aunt May situation,
I'll say we'll talk about this movie a little bit more later.
Yeah.
So,
we'll save it.
All right. I think it's going to come up.
Let me say one thing before I lose.
You are done. You're done.
No, I got one thing. Building off of what Eric said, because that's why I want to keep going. Like with the isolation, the loneliness. If you go back and think about the movies, like they've all had them end in graveyards. Like they've had that lonely. They've always tried to carry on that same kind of like the difference between Peter and every other hero is he needs his identity secret, because he's got to keep it separate because it's about the people he loves, because he has them in his life.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. I think they set up that like isolation better than any Spider-Man movies ever made it feel.
And
by the end, like
right.
He's more alone than he's ever been in any Spider-Man movie ever.
Yeah.
And
so
I would gladly be a superhero as long as Carson could be my sidekick. Because having a son as a good sidekick is always helpful. I mean, Batman did that.
There's a
transition
comic.
Transition.
I was going to do it. But what do you got there, Brett?
In the Spider-Verse, there's a comic where Uncle Ben got bit, and so he becomes what the heck is his name? I forget, but Peter's his sidekick. So like, I'll look it up where you guys are going.
Yeah.
And because he's got a different name than Spider-Man, and then Peter's like his sidekick in it. So that would be Carson.
Interesting. Yeah, I could go with it.
Well, speaking of Batman, we have a final the Batman trailer released while we were out on break, and I'll tell you this: I haven't been like super pumped for this movie. Of course, it's a Batman movie. I wanted to see it, and I thought that first trailer they released was great, or the second trailer. But this one got me hyped and got me like, I can't wait to see this movie. This looks like a totally different Batman than we've ever seen. Totally different kind of universe. It's a dark, grim, and scary ass universe, and the Riddler is going to be, I think, a redefining villain after this movie. Something that will be on par with Heath Ledger's Joker for sure. Eric, your Detective Comics in the background, you big Batman guy. What did you think?
Yeah, I honestly, I feel the same way, Darren. It was really, I up to this point have been on the fence with how I was going to like this particular Batman, but I watched that trailer and I was like, holy smokes, like this looks dark. I mean, it looks really dark, and it looks good. Like I want to see this, you know, and I think I liked that they showed a little more Riddler this time, so we're kind of seeing what we're after. And I don't know the kid's name that is playing.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he was in Prisoners, and he was so great in that movie. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I finally made the connection that he's going to be the guy. And I was like, oh, dude, he's going to be awesome. I think people are going to watch this and they're going to be like, holy smokes, that guy is really great.
I used to hate that guy. Because he was in Cowboys and Aliens, and he was so annoying in that movie.
Yeah.
He's in Girl Next Door.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's the guy that wears the mask in the one film they make.
And I haven't seen that movie forever, Brett.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
Anyway.
But yeah, anyhow, it looks amazing. Brett, did you get a chance to see it?
Yeah, I'm usually the one who says I don't like trailers, but I like that trailer. Like, I've been excited for like the first trailer. I was like, that looks different than the other ones they've done in the past, and I like that it's different. But it's a superhero movie. Like, it's a different version of Batman, but it's going to be Batman. But it just looks like there's less like, it's kind of like the different versions of Bond. Like, you've got the gadget Bond, you've got the real brawler Bond.
Totally.
And I feel like we're getting like the brawler detective version.
Yeah.
The grittier. I think it looks grittier. And did we get an R rating?
We did not. It actually came out this week and of course a bunch of fanboys online were pissed off that it doesn't get an R rating, and which is
PG-13.
It's Batman.
I think it's the stupidest thing to get it upset.
Yeah,
Morgan?
you know what? I don't. Yeah.
So
what do you think, Morg?
I like the trailer. I'm definitely excited. The second trailer that we saw kind of took me out because, and I think it was just the way they edited it, and it's something about it was just off. This one was good.
The first trailer that they showed at DC Fandom, like during the early days of the pandemic,
like that one.
I think that, and that was only really
the Nirvana and
the Nirvana, that was the good one. The second one was.
This was good. I'm looking forward to it. The PG-13 rating. I mean, it's a Batman movie. I mean, come on, you're not going to introduce a Batman movie at R. I think there will be a director's cut version that'll be more mature at some point.
Yeah, it could be.
That could be a re-release in theater or just at home. And I also, I don't know. I'm throwing this out there. I'm hoping for a little Court of Owls action in this.
I know.
That scene where they show him with the flare, and there's just a mass of people kind of coming at him, like.
Yeah,
that's not normal. It's not like
even if it's like Court of Owls is a small part of it, and it sets it up for like the next movie. I want as much Court of Owls action as I can possibly get.
Because I think that's going to be the surprise. That's what I'm thinking. It's the big surprise. Is they're going to reveal that the Court of Owls is kind of running everything.
Sick. I love that. I love it.
I'm hoping they don't start that trend with the Snyder cut. We're going to release a movie, and then like later we'll release the director's cut, which is
right. I hope that's over.
I mean, I do and I don't. It's kind of like I love Linkin Park, and they knew how to let's put out an album. Then we're going to put out the same album with a little bit extra.
I'm thinking more of like a
Meteor.
Like you got Lord of the Rings, and then you got Peter Jackson's Lord of the Ring, where it's 4 hours. I'm thinking. It's one
I think
of those,
that's a little bit different, though.
Like the movie's still good.
Snyder
it's not
cut stuff.
Yeah,
but DC
I don't mean
now knows the kind of money they can make.
Right. That's
the Snyder cut was actually like it's two different movies. It's not a extended movie.
That's what I mean. Like I'm hoping it's like we needed the Snyder cut because the first version was just crap. Whereas this, I think they're going to go for it's good, but here's the director cut that would be like an R rating, a little more violent.
I still got to wait a year to put it out.
Yeah,
you got to get money off the first one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I think that's great take, Morg. I think that's really smart. Coming from you is a surprise. So next on the rundown, we have a released as the post-credit scene. It says smartest man in the room right there, Morgan Santo. We have a Doctor Strange 2 trailer that was a post-credit scene for Spider-Man No Way Home, and then it got officially released so we could watch it in all its glory in 4K and on front of our computers, the lights down, candles,
clothes off.
If you're gonna go see Spider-Man, don't wait till the end of the credits because it's just the trailer. I'll save you that time.
It's out now.
But there is something in the credits.
There is,
mid-credit scene. So
just skip over the clothes off joke, okay.
Our first look at Doctor.
I'll circle around.
I'll go to you.
We could go to a lotion joke too. That would be,
I know. I got it. I was getting there.
Where's this podcast leader?
Morgan.
What will do say?
What do you think is the hell are we going to get kind of movie here with multiverse?
No, this is what we're going to get. No, so this is what I wanted to bring up.
Whenever you're ready.
This is what I wanted to bring up. I am nervous that they're going to throw too much in this movie. Now that we know what nostalgia does and how you can have a $1 billion movie based off of nostalgia, I am slightly nervous that they're going to cram a little too much in this. Just for the fact of cramming too much into it.
So I think I understand where you're going with this. And here, let me give some context to the listeners out there, because right around early November, probably when the Spider-Man No Way Home final cut was done and ready, they watched it and they're like, holy shit, this is money. Let's put Doctor Strange into what now we found out is 6 weeks of reshoots. And the big rumor is that they're doing these reshoots to include major cameos from all of the Marvel franchises across the last movie. So you could have possibly a Ben Affleck Daredevil cameo.
I saw they talked to him this week.
Yeah.
There's been photos
things are
of
adding up that this
the Game of Thrones girl who played Jean. There's been photos of her around sets with red hair.
Professor X.
Logan
McAvoy.
James McAvoy. No. The other
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart, Professor X, because there's a rumor that they're going to have the Marvel version of the Illuminati in it.
But McAvoy turns into in 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
According to the X-Men movies.
I know.
It's a hell of a 10 years.
I can't wait for MCU X-Men movies. Anyway.
What happens when you don't take medicine that lets you walk?
So with that report of it could be just this cameo fest and not a Doctor Strange 2 movie. So that's a rumor going around right now. Don't know if it's true. I will put your faith in Kevin Feige, right, Morgan?
Yeah. Kev.
So put your faith in Kevin Feige that he knows what he's doing, because he's the one who's responsible for No Way Home.
And it's Sam Raimi as well, and I can respect him. He does some good work. I will accept a crap ton of cameos if it's simple cameos, even just like Doctor Strange, like falling through multiple universes, and you just happen to see the Fox X-Men, like just cool little, like, oh look, like that's cool. We'll see what they do. We'll see.
Yeah. Brett.
I feel like especially in the last few in the TV shows and the last few movies, like in phase 1, phase 2, they always seem to use Iron Man as like the string that held everything together. Like he was always the one kind of making everything connections. And I feel like in the last few, it's been Wong and Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. So I think you're going to have a lot of those crossovers, especially now because there's so many heroes, so many everything. Like they're going to bump into each other, and they did in the comics, so they should. But if you go through the Fox ones, you go through the Sony ones, I mean, they bought the properties. They should use the properties. And then if you can build a little bit off of that, because I mean, the X-Men movies were loved. Daredevil, like some people loved it, some people hated it. But if you have it, build off of it. And as long as they're building off of it and not doing it for the wow factor, for the clapping, right? Like if they're building off it, I think it's a great, like, why wouldn't you? It just makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Eric?
Yeah, all right.
I like that. That's a good view.
Yeah.
On to the next
good
thing.
take.
Solid.
Dynamite dropping.
Solid. That was a hot take.
Yeah. I thought the trailer looked good. I thought it looked good. I love the Doctor Strange character. I love Benedict Cumberbatch. I think he's a great actor. I mean, he can act the shit out of that role, so I'm not worried about that. And my only pause and hesitation is the, no offense to anybody, the low IQ folks out there, but you're talking about multiverse stuff, and you're gonna have to be very careful that you're not too high level for your audience, that a lot of people who are going to get lost in how this, how are you going to make it so that it's, the various timelines and the various multiverses and all these different things. How are you going to keep people from getting confused and they're going to go, I don't know what the hell just happened in that movie, and so I'm just, that's my concern, is I'm just kind of cautious.
People are having trouble with Boba Fett and his flashbacks right now.
Just to build on that real quick, Eric, and to put a positive spin on that, I think this could help that issue, because there's plenty, I mean, my wife included, that you talk to that don't understand why the other stuff isn't included. Like, why isn't Wolverine in this? Like, right. And you have to explain, the rights of who owns this and this.
You're right under the bus. Right. Dean, we're sorry. We do not think you're an idiot.
But we know you get this.
Outside of Back to the Future, have her sit down for a time travel movie or anything involving multiple universes. She's done.
It's
as soon as I go, well, see, they time traveled. She's like, I'm out. I think this could help, because if they could throw it all together It helps with that confusion.
My wife
like,
could
why aren't they
understand.
included? Okay, now they're included. You're happy.
Great positive spin there, Morgan.
Thank you.
Great job.
That's right.
I think we're all gonna be very excited to watch it. Let's reserve as much judgment. I mean,
at least it gives Morgan a good excuse to get out of work because it's another doctor visit.
It's another doctor visit.
It's a doctor visit.
I'll say, as somebody pointed out, it looks like Rachel McAdams is going to play, what was it, the night nurse? Is that what she was called?
Well,
there's a scene with, you got Doctor Strange, America Chavez, and then Rachel McAdams, and she's in the nurse uniform from the comics of the nurse that would help superheroes.
I don't see
Watch the trailer again.
Right.
That Misty Knight was the
So, Rosario Dawson played her in the Daredevil and Luke Cage and stuff. I can't think of the name from the comics. She's a nurse that specifically helps superheroes.
It's the night nurse, but I think she becomes somebody else though.
Yeah, she and it's Misty Knight.
Well, I think they're going to use. I mean, she looked in the same costume, and we're talking multiple universes, so they could do whatever the hell they want with her. She'd be Captain Marvel if they want multiple universes.
I would get a full-on double D boner if I see Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
That's a double Loki, double Loki bounty.
I'm a big fan of that movie. I don't care how dumb it is. It is always going to be.
Because we watched it in Iraq. We bonded over.
I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah, for sure.
Why can't you say that?
Bonded. We definitely bonded. Well, I just don't always want to tie everything back to Iraq.
You do,
but I feel like
doing it. All right.
We get it. You went to war.
You too.
Yeah. Exactly.
Move on. Come on. You got a special bond.
We watched it in the Army, and it's a special movie to Brett and I. Absolutely.
And you got to pay to walk on the sidewalk.
You got to pay.
I feel like you guys got to move on to something.
You got to make sure that pays. All right. Number 4 on the rundown, we have a dramatic reboot of a comedy series that I'm assuming we were all fans of when we were kids or younger, right, Eric? And
kid at heart.
we
have a trailer for a new TV show coming out on Peacock called Bel Air. So if you hear the words Bel Air and you start thinking about Fresh Prince of Bel Air, then you're on the right track.
Thank you, Daddy's Bel Air.
Will Smith has executive produced a show to tell a dramatic retelling of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. And you watch the trailer and you're like, mother damn it. I think this looks pretty good. If it wasn't what's his name in the show? Why can't I think of
Will
Smith.
But what's his last name?
It's Will Smith.
Yeah.
Will
Smith.
Is he Will Smith?
Did you watch it?
I remember.
It's a telling of his life.
I know his name is Will, but I don't remember
Dramatized
Smith in the show. Is all.
Yeah.
On the back of his jersey.
Smith. Yep.
Damn. Okay. Will Smith.
The same guy that says he was a fan of the show doesn't know the lead actor.
As a kid, I watched it as a kid. Anyway, Eric, what did you think?
Yeah, I Fresh Prince has a special place in my heart. I mean, it's just as it was such a great family show, good comedy show. Will Smith is just he's such a wonderful person, and I love that character so much. And Carlton, I just love that whole family. Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv. I mean, they just Jeffrey. I mean, Jeffrey was hilarious. Like his dry wit was so great. So it's clearly it's got Will Smith's blessing on it, and I think it's no pun intended. It's a fresh take on that story, and so I mean it looks good, I mean it really does. I don't know that I want to see that as a drama, but and that's no offense to anybody. I just in the nostalgia that we're trying to conjure up, I want to think of that story as the comedy side of things, and we're going to be silly, but I can appreciate where they're going with the the story, and it looks amazing. I mean, it really does. The kid who they have playing Will Smith looks great. I mean, and then the rest of the family seems like they're well cast as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And they have a badass Jeffrey in this one too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like an Alfred.
It's like a flip of Cobra Kai and the Karate Kid, where Karate Kid was like a dramatic movie, and then they didn't reboot it. It's actually still, like a major sequel to it, but they did it in comedic form, and
right.
This is like the flip of that. So, Morgan, what do you think?
It's one of those that I think if somebody was like, "Hey, watch this trailer," and I watched it, it'll like, "Oh, that looks like a really cool show. I want to check it out." And they go, "It's Bel Air, Fresh Prince remake." I'd be like, "Oh, like it." I just wish it was something else. Like it looks really good. I want to watch it. I think it's going to be a good story. It looks visually the way it was filmed from the trailer. It looks really good. It just seems weird that it's Fresh Prince, because again, that was Will Smith's thing, was the comedy and working in these serious discussions with the comedy. So you had that lightness. I like the lighthearted with the seriousness and talking about really important topics and social issues, and they did a good job with it. Whereas this almost doesn't seem like the social issues would really play into this, and it's just going to be more of like any other drama out there where it's like, it's all right, it looks good. I just wish it wasn't the Fresh Prince. I wish it was something else.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Kinger?
I think it's really funny when they make drama shows, they always name it after the town. We got the OC, we got One Tree Hill,
Euphoria.
We got Bel Air. Like when they had Bayside and it's Saved by the Bell Kids, like we know what it's going to be.
Yeah. Isn't there a Bayside?
There is a Saved by the Bell. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. Is it called Bayside?
Yeah. Sure.
Well, they have a Saved by the Bell. It's Saved by the Bell again, I think. I'll look it up, but I'll.
Is it a dramatic one or is it a funny one?
No,
it's a comedy.
It's funny.
It's that's why it's Saved by the Bell and not Bel Air.
Yeah. As far as this is, it's not for me. It's not for me. It might be fine. I'm not going to watch it. The trailer looks fine. I think if I was, 18, 19, 20, it would probably be, I wouldn't have the iconic Fresh Prince theme song in my head to know that this isn't what I want. Right. But like if I was 19 or 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, it would be something to watch because we watched One Tree Hill. We watched the OC. Like that's something.
Oh yeah, we did.
It's Fresh Prince for a new generation.
Right. And that's fine. So I think it'll be absolutely fine. I just don't think it's made for 37-year-old Brett King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saved by the Bell. It's the new one, Saved by the Bell.
That's why it's a comedy, not a drama.
Yeah, it's just Saved by the Bell 2020. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I knew there was a tagline to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Last in the rundown, we got a couple premiere dates for new shows coming out this year. Later on in our Nerd Rundown Presents show, we're gonna look back at 2021. But next week, we're gonna look ahead to 2022. And part of, I'm sure, what we'll be looking ahead to is some of these shows. The Boys Season 3 is going to premiere on June 3rd on Amazon Prime. And then Moon Knight, starring Oscar Isaac, another MCU show, the first of the MCU shows to be released this year. That will debut on Disney Plus on March 30th. And that's actually just rumored as of right now, but probably pretty close to around the accurate time, given the Marvel timeline that we're going through in real time. Anyway, quick thoughts on this, guys. Eric, Boys, and Moon Knight, real quick.
Simple, just excited.
I got nothing. I really don't. The Boys. I haven't watched. I have not.
It's good. It's really good.
I just remembered that.
I like it.
I feel like we had this talk before.
Yeah, I haven't watched The Boys, and I like Oscar Isaac, so I'll most likely like. Moon Knight. So looking forward to him. Yeah.
Mark?
I agree. I'm excited. I like The Boys. I like Oscar Isaac. I really don't know much about Moon Knight. So as far as excitement of a character, we'll see. But it's Oscar, so I know it's going to be good. I just want to throw something else in there at the end of this month. New Ozark.
Ooh,
yes.
Ozark season 4. That's right.
That's
part
season
1.
4 trailer.
Part 1.
Part 1. Yeah.
That trailer was awesome, though.
Wait, is there a new trailer?
There was a new trailer like 2
Oh my
days ago.
goodness, I didn't watch it.
I haven't seen
But in the
it.
rundown, I would have watched it.
I was going to, and I forgot. But
I knew Ozark.
that new season looks amazing. Brett?
I like Boys season 1 and 2. I like the different take on superheroes where it's not all glamour and everything, and then just always the good guy. I like the different take on it. So I'll definitely catch that one. Moon Knight, I'm excited about as long as they do it right, and I think they will. Yep, they look fine to me.
No, I like it. I like it. We'll cover
he's got
it.
Arms up. It's not fully, but
We'll cover them
there.
more as we get
chubbing it.
almost all the way. Not as high as Spider-Man. We'll cover those shows more as we get closer to their premiere and beyond. So good to be back on the rundown for sure. Let's move to the nerd box. We got a couple questions here. The first says, could the Marvel universe survive a Kryptonian invasion? I'm going to pass this one right off to Morgan Santo, who had this question submitted. And it is confusing, first of all, a little bit to me. Are you talking about just Superman or like all Kryptonians?
Kryptonians, if they were like, we're taking over Earth and it's a Marvel universe Earth.
Is this our first TikTok question? Is that where you said it came from?
Yeah, this is just a random TikTok thing. I'm gonna give my answer is yes. The Marvel universe would survive just because they would adapt. I mean, for example, the character Darwin, who can't die because he can adapt to anything. I feel like his body would naturally adapt to kryptonite, and they would learn.
How long did he live in X-Men First Class?
I was going to say, did you see him First Class?
They did him dirty in X-Men First Class. This man,
they did.
He literally turned into death at one point so he couldn't die. Yeah. Like, they did him dirty. And
should have turned into Kevin Bacon.
He should have turned into Kevin Bacon. He could have footloosed his way out of there and danced in the woods or factory. But my son, he came up with an answer. So shout out to Carson.
I did say his name. Pick a fruit.
No, I can say his name. He said yes, because Doctor Strange would make a portal to kryptonite and they would pull it in and destroy them. And I said, I cannot argue with it. You win. That is correct.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. 7-year-old Carson's a lot smarter than however old I am, because I didn't think about that.
Right?
Yeah.
8-year-old.
I like it. Brett, what did you? Now, also, we don't know if this means like comic Marvel universe or MCU. I'm going to guess it's the comic Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Well, I think if they want any chance of success, if Krypton wants any chance of success, they have to come in. They have to make sure they kill Tony Stark. They have to make sure they kill Ant-Man, and they have to make sure they don't kill Peter Parker, because if you kill Peter and you leave these two alive, Ant-Man's going to figure it out, and he's going to tell Tony. Tony's going to say, I ain't doing it, until he thinks about Peter when he's washing dishes, and then he's going to do it, and then they're going to go back and fix it and get it right when they come back.
That's true.
You gotta kill those two.
You gotta kill Peter, though. His weakness. That's very true.
Man, such an amazing idea there, Brett.
That's amazing. Only got to kill two of them.
I also feel like one of them would come up with the idea of we just need to block the sun for like a day, and we can kill them all because they'll just be people.
It's still cloudy. There's still clouds, block the sun.
Yeah. I mean, Batman figures out.
He still goes out at night.
Batman.
We'd have to go in and grab. Well, I don't know.
Yes. That's the truth.
Lex Luthor figures out how to beat one, for the most part, how to at least contain one guy. It would be so
Batman has a plan for everybody,
and Batman has a plan for how to get around it. So I mean, if you're going to combine both universes together, like is Batman in this, or are we just talking Marvel and there's no Batman, but you bring in Kryptonian? I don't know. I think I would go cross-eyed thinking about this.
How many Marvel characters have a mother named Martha? And does that help?
That's a good point. That's a good.
Like, I don't know.
There's got to be at least one. There's a lot of characters.
Hold up, that's only stopping Superman. This is
probably some X-Men characters. Mom, some obscure X-Men characters. Mom, good old Martha. Mom, Martha.
Listen, I'm still throwing this out there. I don't want you guys to hate me.
Okay,
we move on.
Yeah, we'll move on to the next.
I don't think it's the worst plot device in the world.
I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. What next from the nerd box, which serum is stronger? Green Goblin's serum that he takes from the Raimi Spidey films, or the super soldier serum in the MCU? Now, I want to answer this real quick, and if anybody else has a different answer, please let me know.
You're not going to ask us?
I'm asking. I can answer it too, can I?
If our answer is different, he said.
Yeah, let me know if your answer is different. Green Goblin's serum in the Raimi first Spider-Man film, his scientist, I forget what his name was, that he worked with, the bald guy that he kills when he takes the Green Goblin serum.
Peter.
He wants to take it back to formula.
Yeah, he wants to take it back to formula. That's right.
He is somewhat of a scientist.
He is something of a scientist myself.
Good one. He says that they've seen increases of strength by 800%. And if you go by that, which I don't actually think Green Goblin became 800% stronger, because that would be amazing.
Did you try to arm wrestle him?
I would go with Green Goblin's serum as stronger, just knowing Cap's pretty freaking strong, stops a helicopter flying away, but I don't think he's 800% stronger than what he should be. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Agreed, Goblin. And not because of the 800%, just what we've seen Goblin do. I would say he's stronger. I mean, he held up a cart full of children in the air with one hand.
Yeah.
Like it was just like
Spidey.
He could have held it with his finger.
It's like he's as strong as Spidey.
Stronger than Spidey.
Yeah. Brett?
I wonder how similar they are, actually, because when I read this question, I was thinking about the super soldier serum, and I go back to when they gave it to Blonsky. Like he became, obviously, I'm blanking on the name here. What's the Abomination?
Abomination.
And so I wonder how similar, or even if the Green Goblin serum came off of that somehow. I mean, there had been some research that crossed paths, because I mean, the Abomination got big and green, and in some versions of Green Goblin, he got big and green. You know what I mean?
The Abomination.
Or what you're saying? His version, he's like a big dragon almost. Are
you saying like what if you were to give that Goblin serum to a better person?
I'm saying
the Cap serum really makes your inner intention stronger. So if you're a good person,
right? Because Norman Osborn's just a dickhead, and so when he takes the serum, he becomes a bigger he becomes,
which is what they say the Marvel serum does too.
Right. So it takes whatever your natural.
I don't think so. I'm going with the Goblin.
Maybe
I'm going with the Goblin serum. Just cracks you. I don't think it matters who gets it. I think it just.
Yeah, I don't think it's perfected. And you have to go back to formula.
I think obviously it was in the 60s when the super soldier serum, back during World War II, and I wonder because he made the serum for Green Goblin later than that, how much of the research came from the super soldier serum.
Right. I think now that's an MCU movie that could somehow.
No, because it wasn't an MCU movie at the time the serum was created. So none of it came from the super soldier serum.
But you could totally
it was still the same.
No, we said
you can totally retcon that now that the Raimi verse is part of the MCU. You can totally retcon that.
I'm not even talking MCU, even comics wise. I mean,
I know. I'm just saying you could easily, from the Green Goblin serum from
I think
the Raimi film, you could easily retcon that. So
we all agree, Goblin.
Yeah, I think so.
Eric said,
yeah, sure.
And the Abomination one wasn't the original serum, though. That was a serum
they tried to make,
and then it got mixed with Hulk's blood. So that's what created a terrible thing.
Listen, I know the Germans are bad, but sometimes we need them for the science. Just saying.
Volkswagen.
I don't approve of the methods.
It is.
But they make Captain
Good to be
Americas.
back on the rundown. Thank you guys for joining us. Season 2, I'm very excited to be back on, and looking forward to the Nerd Rundown Presents, which you can check out on YouTube. And if you're there, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's do it, people. Let's grow this channel. Let's make it a thing.
Yeah, comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff.
Submit questions. I love the questions. It's my favorite
Let the
part.
healing begin.
Better.
Yeah.
You can watch it naked. If you record it, slide it into DMs.
I mean, we don't need to know if you're naked, but if you are,
Who knows? Maybe I don't even have pants on right now. Who knows?
hopefully you're in a naked room.
Hang 'em in.
We're all in our naked room.
I told my oldest daughter when she moves out, which supposedly is going to be pretty soon, that I'm turning her room into a naked room.
Naked room. That's it. You only go in there just to get naked.
I only go in there.
That's it. That's
Naked.
it.
Ice cream naked.
It's not like a sauna. You're just naked standing there with your thoughts.
Maybe get an aquarium,
It's a giant
whatever
sensory
you want. It's
deprivation
whatever
tank.
you want.
A giant
I'm not
sensory
a-
deprivation tank.
That's where I listen
I'm
to
not
the
a 70s
soundtrack, eat ice cream naked.
I'm not a 70s quarterback, but whatever.
With that all being said, we appreciate you guys coming on the show. We appreciate you listening in and watching in. We'll see you next week on the Nerd Rundown.
See ya.
See you
Bye.
later, alligator.
Don't do that again.